This is On Point with Miss Britt, bringing you week 4 NFL recap. All right, so we about to get into some things. And first, I just want to start off by talking about Tua because, it just really kills me how people are out here talking about well, I'm not an expert, so I can't say the previous week he had a concussion. When if you see the video, he hit the back of his head and he got up disoriented. So that's like a sign of a concussion. And then it's crazy because recently it just came out that, they fired the neurologist and he claims he made mistakes when, to be honest, all of y'all are to blame. All of y'all knew what it was. Y'all knew he wasn't right and you sent him out anyway in the game with against the Bengals because you wanted to be undefeated, and he ended up hitting the back of his head again, the same spot, and he seized up. And I know that they're not going to let him play next week because they're finally admitting he has a concussion. But y'all need to keep him off the field for a couple more weeks. He literally had 2 concussions within a week. Y'all got to keep him off the field for a minute until he really heals. But that's all I'm going to say about that. They can do whatever they want to do, but concussion is a serious thing. It can, lead to long-term mental disabilities. So, they're going to do what they're going to do. And that's on them at this point. So, let's get into it. Let's get into the recap. So, we're going to start off with Thursday. Bengals versus Miami Dolphins. So, finally, the Bengals offensive line is holding up. They gave Burrow plenty of time in the pocket. T. Higgins, Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins, he caught 7 passes, 124 yards, and he had a touchdown. Evan McPherson, he kicked 2 fourth-quarter field goals, including a 57-yarder field goal. Before being carted off the field with the concussion, Tua, he was 8 for 14, 110 yards, and he had an interception. Tyreek Hill had 10 catches and 160 yards. And then Jason Sanders, their kicker, he kicked 3 field goals and one of them was blocked. With 3 minutes left in the fourth, Von Bell picked off Miami's backup Teddy Bridgewater. And then Joe Burrow threw a late 2-yard touchdown to Hayden Hurst to seal the win. So the Bengals ended up winning 27-15. Joe Burrow was 20 for 31, 287 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. All right, moving on to Sunday, the controversial game, Buffalo Bills versus Baltimore Ravens. So J.K. Dobbins, running back for Baltimore Ravens, former Buckeye, I just want to put that out there. He scored 2 early touchdowns. Buffalo trailed 20-3 late in the second quarter. Then they rallied to tie the score 20-20 by end of third quarter. Josh Allen had a 4-yard pass to Isaiah McKenzie. There was a 39-yard field goal made, and then also Josh Allen rushed for an 11-yard touchdown run. In the fourth quarter, here we go. Mind you, the score tied. In the final minutes, instead of kicking it for a field goal, John Harbaugh says, we about to go for it on 4th and 2. And Lamar Jackson was intercepted by Jordan Poyer for a touchback. And then from the 20-yard line, Josh Allen got Buffalo within field goal range. And actually, they ended up getting by the end zone to score, but they ended up drowning the clock. And Tyler Bass, he made a 21-yard field goal as the time expired. So the Ravens ended up losing 23-20 because they should have just took the points instead of opting for 4th and 2. You always got to take the points. Josh Allen was 19 for 36, 213 yards. He had 1 touchdown and an interception. Lamar Jackson, 20 for 29, and he had 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. So I know Ravens fans, they sick right now. All right, and then Sunday night we had the Chiefs versus the Bucks. We had old GOAT Tom Brady versus new potential GOAT Patrick Mahomes. All right, so Bucks rookie Rachaad White fumbled on the opening kickoff, and then the Chiefs recovered, so they got a good field position. And then Mahomes threw a touchdown pass to Travis Kelce 2 plays later. So that was a quick, easy touchdown pass. Mahomes also had a 1-yard touchdown pass to Edwards-Helaire, where 2 defenders was in his face. He did a 360 move, threw it over the crowd. Bam, got him. And he also did 10 yards to Jody Forson. Edwards, Hilaire, and tight end Noah Gray, they both had they both rushed for a touchdown. And then Mahomes, he threw for 249 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. Tom Brady was 39 for 52, 385 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it still wasn't enough. Chiefs blew on by 41-31. Blew by them Bucks. All right, some other key games this week that happened on Sunday. My Giants, we 3-1. We beat the Bears 20-12. Daniel Jones, he suffered an ankle injury, but he did have a 21-yard rushing touchdown and an 8-yard touchdown run. And then we sent in backup Tyrod Taylor, and he ended up suffering a concussion in the middle of the 4th quarter. So Daniel Jones ended up finishing the game, and as I know right now, the status of Daniel Jones is unclear. I don't know if he's going to play against Green Bay. And if he don't play against Green Bay, we got to send our backup from the practice squad. Yes, and I know I was making jokes about that team, Davis Webb. But actually, Davis Webb, he ain't too bad, though, because Tyrod Taylor's out. So that's going to be our starter, Davis Webb. Yes, I don't even want to hear it. All right, and the Raiders got their first win with a win over the Broncos, 32-23. They are now 1-3. So at least they avoided the 0-4. So then the Browns and the Falcons, child. Here's another person that screwed it. They blew it. Okay, so with 2 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock in the 4th quarter, the Falcons kicked a 45-yard field goal, and then the Browns blew it with 1:09 on the clock. Jacoby Brissett, he was trying to do a deep pass down to David Bell, but it was intercepted by D. Alford at the Atlanta 26-yard line. Falcons win 23-20. And then them Eagles, them Birds, they are still the only NFL undefeated team right now at 4-0 with a win over Jacksonville 29-21. Jacksonville was on their necks, though, the 1st quarter. They were leading 14-0, but, you know, the Eagles weren't about to let that happen. They slowly took the lead back. Jalen Hurts was 16-25, 204 yards, and he had an interception. And then the Cowboys, they beat the Commanders 25-10. No shocker there. And I just want to point out, you know, everybody used to give the NFC East a lot of grief. But I just want to let y'all know, we went from the NFC least to NFC beast. And we all got rings. Let's go. Eagles 4-0, Cowboys 3-1, Giants 3-1, and we just gonna leave the Commanders out of this. They not even doing nothing. Bye. All right, and Lord, please pray for them Steeler fans. They need some prayer right now. So they just lost to the Jets 24-20. QB Zach Wilson for the Jets led a long 65-yard drive, ending with a 2-yard run from Breece Hall into the end zone, winning the game 24-20. Well, the good news for Steeler fans that y'all finally started Kenny Pickett and you're benching Trubisky because he got to go, and that's the first step. All right, and the 49ers, they got a win over the Rams, 24-9. Deebo Samuels, he had a night. He had 115 yards and a 57-yard pass touchdown from Jimmy G. And that is all the updates I have for y'all this week. I will see y'all in week 5, and I'm out.